mentor. Today's conversation is more of an internal one. Basically, it's self sabotage. I see this many times. Just yesterday, I watched the women's long jump Olympic trials, and I just watched an athlete get in her head and just not perform anywhere near where she should be, right? So, this is what usually happens. This is also what happens for athletes as they're going into their senior year and trying to get the best experience possible. Okay, so the first part is negative self talk. Now, externally, a negative person is someone that doubts, your abilities, doesn't believe you, um, is a naysayer, a hater, right? And what that does is it does two things for you. When you have a hater, it can motivate you to say, you know what, this person doesn't like me. This person hates what I'm doing. It's all right. I got you. Watch, see what happens. That's a huge motivation. The other side of it is that this hater says something and it makes you feel a certain way. It makes you feel like, you know what, you lost my trust. I don't feel comfortable around you. All these things. And so naturally, if you have a hater around you, you want to remove yourself from this space. And if it's a hater that's outside in your external world, it's easy to remove yourself from this person, right? Now, what if you live with a hater, right? Yes, there's a motivation piece, but after a while, it's too much. It's like, yo, chill. I'm trying to like live my life, and everything that I do, you have something negative to say about me, right? And if they live in your space, then it becomes a problem. It becomes an issue because now it's just this external noise all the time that you can't get away from. But at the end of the day, what I'm trying to get at is you want to remove yourself from this hate, right? And what if this internal, or what if this hatred or this haterism, I guess, is coming from you? What if you're the person that has this thinking process? So I watched this video on Instagram the other day, and it was talking about like having these dark thoughts, right? And so if you're walking on a bridge, let's say that's stories and stories off the ground, it's super high. The vision you might have is falling off the edge, right? And you think to yourself, why do I have these dark thoughts? Like it makes no sense. Well, it's a protective mechanism, right? Your subconscious mind has a way to say, listen, we want to protect you. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you what could happen to scare you into not even walking close to the edge of this rail, right? And so these thoughts are normal. Again, you have two ways to perceive it. You can see it as a positive, like this is my subconscious protecting me, or it can be a situation that's like, you know what, like I saw this vision, I don't know what's going on with me, blah blah blah, right? And you're going down to this thing. When it comes back to this hater, the the internal hate, the self-talk, is you're naturally going to have a process of, I have a big track meet, what if I fail? That's normal, right? That thought process of seeing failure is what's supposed to happen because your subconscious mind is doing what? Protecting you. It's telling you, hey, in order for you to get to where you need to get to, here's something that we can show you, which is a fear of the past, a fear of failure. And if that failure is there, now what's going to happen? You should be hearing it and seeing it and saying, you know what? I got it. Like, I understand that I'm scared. It's a true threat to me because it's very important to me. I'm going to get after it. I'm going to really push for it. Right. So again, you have two perceptions, or you can see this image of the negative and say to yourself, oh man, I'm like, I'm going to get hurt. I'm scared. And you fail. Right. So the negative self talk, is it really negative? Right. Understanding that your subconscious mind is designed to support you, designed to help you. And if you succumb to these words, then it's not really supportive for you. Right. So the biggest thing is understanding that every single voice that comes to you, every single experience that comes to you is always in favor. What if you're not motivated enough and someone says, you don't have what it takes? Are you going to be motivated, or are you going to be angry or hurt by those words? They say the truth hurts, but many times the truth is the truth. And the truth is what you need to hear. So if you're scared to hear the truth, if you're scared to be in these environments, then you get to assess where you're at and figure out if this sport or this experiences are like for you, right? But at the end of the day, is you're actually calling for these things. So when you're in these fearful situations or have negative talk, the negative talk is just a reminder of where you are. And if you see it as a negative, it just means that you're not ready yet. So then start to accept these negative talks into a positive. So you can look at it either way, as a negative or as a positive. The second thing I want to focus on is the self-sabotage part is external. And it's you're doing too many sports, literally. If you're in any type of club sport, but then you also do high school sports, you're doing too many things, all right? Um, Granted, my club team does high school and does club at the same time, okay? Um, so I guess it's counterproductive for what I'm saying, but I'm saying it, right? If you're in club soccer and you're trying to do high school track and you want to have these big goals accomplished, soccer is in the way if you're trying to go pro or to college in track and field. If you're trying to go pro or to college for soccer, but you're doing track, then track and field is in the way. Remove the extra sports during your season. I'm not saying get rid of the sports or quit the sports, but what I am saying is if you're in track, be in track. And that's kind of like the little loophole that I have with athletes that are in high school track and that are also a part of my track and field program. We're adding and subtracting certain things. But when you're doing a calendar of volleyball training with the practices and the games and whatever else, and then you're also trying to do track, that's where it's conflicting because you're doing motions and experiences or movements that aren't as supportive, right? You're just fatiguing those muscles. But for track, we can kind of fine tune and say, hey, you ran today. Let's work on your stability, your core, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so you want to remove a lot of these extra things. That also comes down to just extra training. If you're doing extra, then it can really wear you down and wear you out. If you're doing speed work and jump training and spikes are on in the fall when your track season isn't until the spring, just assess what you're doing. Are you going to be increasing your potential impact injuries because you're in spikes in the fall, right? It's always case by case, but being aware of that, okay? The last thing I do want to cover is, where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? Not having a mentor. If you're saying to yourself, all right, I want to make it to college, so I'm going to work as hard as I can. I'm going to train every single day. I'm going to hire a speed coach. I'm going to hire all these things for improvement. However, is this the exact plan that you need? Having a mentor is going to give you so much more information or resources than you currently have. If you're just going out saying, this is the plan that I have, we'll see what happens, that's not a safe plan. You want a plan that's coming from a person who does this, right? Who has gone through the experiences, who has had success with it, and can kind of give you perspectives that you may or may not have. Here's an example. Someone can give you CPR, right? They can. But you prefer to have a doctor give you CPR because of there's more experience there, right? Let's go lighter. Maybe that was too deep. Let's go with, maybe you're trying to eat healthy. So you're eating healthy foods. Well, you don't even know what healthy truly is, right? Because avocados have a bunch of fat in them. Are they healthy? Well, the reality is yes, right? When you talk to a dietitian and get specific resources on what's healthy and what's not, and what food is best for you, they can tell you what food you need and etc. If you go to, a friend that lost 20 pounds and ask them, the information is going to be different. If you go to a weight room, to a fitness center and ask them how to be healthy, they might cut your carbs. versus the nutritionist or dietitian specifically might say you want to up your carbs because you're a track and field athlete. Very contradictory. However, one person is going to have more experience, more knowledge in that field. Okay. So having a mentor is going to really support you and help you, because the mentor is going to be able to dive into what you're doing, what you have, and where you're going versus just a quick result. So make sure that you understand these three concepts that I talked about. Dive into these. If you need to watch this video again, if you have questions, comment below. And the reality between all this is all these things, these factors are affecting athletes in a negative way. And if you understand and can resonate with all three, then you're just adding so many things in the negative direction of where you do not want to go versus preparing yourself where you want to go. So keep that in mind.